Alright guys, so in Tesla we've got some new banners returning here. Well, not new banners, but returning banners here. And we'll talk about these just summer skip right now. We'll quickly have a look at the banners. So we've got this limit break one here, which this limit break one, I guess, is probably the better one, I would say, out of the other ones returning. So the other ones we've got returning is obviously we've got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta here, which obviously he can still be an okay unit to use, you know, especially if you run fusions, but that's not all, right, because we have got other fusions, which to me sort of hints towards part 3 fairly well, but we'll have to wait and see. So we've got Super Gogeta returning as well. Super Gogeta, I guess you can say, is maybe worth summoning more, just because of his plat equipment, so I guess that could be a bit of an enticement to summon. And we've got Gogeta Blue as well, and I think Turles is still up as well. Yep. So, it is, to me, I would say, well, I wouldn't say it's confirmed, but it feels like to me we're going to get a Gogeta for part 3. Now, I'm only saying that because it's just very weird for these banners to return, right? Because usually with Ultra banners, you know, like we have with Cell and also Turles, they're just random banners that drop, right? So it wasn't too weird, sort of thing. But having 3 Gogeta units return, to me, seems a little bit odd, but we'll have to wait and see, right? So I guess we'll start off with, actually we'll start off with this banner first. So, with all these Ultra banners, there is one thing I will say straight from the start here. Ultra banners are terrible to summon on, purely because there's no pity, right? So, I'll quickly show what I mean by that. So, obviously, you've got Super Gogeta here, which is a good unit if you get him with a plat equipment. I think you need to get him to, what is it, 7 stars to unlock the plat equipment? To its max potential. Let me have a quick look just before I go. I think you need 2 dupes is what it was. I just want to double check before we have a look into it. So, there's plat equipment here, let's have a quick look. So I'm talking about the last slot here, so yeah, I locked at 7 stars. So the only problem is with summoning on these banners is you're going to have to get them up to at least, you know, 2 dupes, right? Which isn't the worst, but the problem is the banner. Now, obviously the banner, like I said, Super Gogeta is pretty good once you use plat equipment. Well, to the 4th slot at least. This Gogeta is fairly mid, you know, dropped off. This Gogeta can still be okay, I would say. He's, you know, fairly mid now. Zamasu, I guess you can use the bench. Yoai Goku probably bench as well. So, you're not really getting a lot of benefits summoning on this banner unless you get lucky and get Gogeta. If not, you know, you're just wasting CC at this point when you got other banners to summon on. Like, for example, like I said before in my other summon videos, these banners here, so the anniversary ones, you know, this Goku one's still an incredible banner. You've still got 4 days left to get the Triple Z powers, it's still a good banner, regardless. And also the Vegeta one here, right? And the other main reason why I prefer these banners, not just because the list is better, but there's pity. So the amount of CC you're going to be wasting on the Ultra banners, if you get shafted, you know, you could potentially get good rewards from here. You can get LSZ power, guaranteed copy of the unit, stuff like that. But summoning on these trashy Ultra banners, you're not really getting anything back from it except for red tickets, and I've talked about that before. Like, red tickets is practically nothing, to be honest. Even if you're not a whale, and you get a lot of red tickets, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to get, you know, a copy of a unit. You know, there's not really any good units you can pick up with them tickets, so to me they're pointless, right? So, like I said, Super Gogeta's banner is, if this banner was after anniversary, I would say you can summon on it just because it can help out, but I'd say it's still a skip regardless. But I guess it's on the fence. If you're a fusion main, then it's probably worth trying to get a dupe, but just remember part 3 is coming in a few days. Well, sometime next week, right? It should be weekly reset. This banner will still be up by then, right? So if you do want to summon get more dupes, you can get that if you want. We'll quickly look over this banner. Gogeta Blue is obviously aging out now. These guys are mid. Mid as well. Bad now. Mid. Yeah, bad. So, yet again, just looking at that banner, I don't think it's worth summoning for. You know, just a real quick over. Like I said, Gogeta Blue, most of these ultras are still usable, right? I will say that. It's just, you gotta look at it. Would you prefer to get shafted on this banner, get no rewards, or summon on the LF banners and get shafted but you can get good rewards still? That's sort of how I look at it. But if you're a huge fan of Gogeta Blue, go right ahead, because he's still a pretty cool unit in that, but I don't know, I just think these ultra banners need to be revised and quick. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's banner, we'll have a quick look. He's still a good unit, I would say. He can still be very helpful. I'd say he's probably the better one out of these two. You know, maybe I don't know if I'd say he's better than Super Gogeta after his Planet Equipment. Maybe, he might still be a bit better. Let's have a look at the feature characters real quick. So, Super, he's okay, like I said, we talked about him. These guys in a Zenkai Fast. Mid. So, as you can see, this Super 4 Gogeta is actually on a lot of banners. This guy's obviously falling off bad and bad as well. So, you can sort of see what I mean here. Like, if these banners are a bit better, then yeah, it could be worth something to, try and get the Ultra, but with how trashy these featured units are, I just don't see the point in summoning. Right, now we'll talk about the Limit Break banner. So, the Limit Break banner can be good depending on how much CC you have. So, if you have plenty of CC, this banner is really good, purely because of the rewards you get, right? So, in the exchange shop here, as you can see, you get a lot of LFZ power, which is fairly cheap, I would say, for the amount of CC you use, which is good, right? But when you look at the banner itself, that you're not summoning for these units, right? So have a quick look. Like I said, these guys are mid. Yeah, we'll have a quick look through. You can sort of tell which units you see in PvP still, which is practically none of them. That Gohan, by the way, probably is coming up on the Zenkai eventually. But you can sort of see what I mean here, right? There's just, you're not summoning on this banner because you want the units, you're summoning because of the resources. So, to me, I would say this depends. If you're not worried about Part 3 and you want to get more dupes or more LFZ power for Kaioken, Goku, Great Ape, Vegeta, stuff like that, all the other anniversary LFs, sure, go right ahead. This is a good banner to pick up LFZ power, right? But if you want to summon for Part 3, I would say skip this banner. Even though it does go away in 3 days, I just don't see the point in summoning. If you want to get the Ultra, because obviously the LFZ power you're going to get is still going to be useful, obviously. But you're wasting CC where you can summon for the Ultra, right? Because obviously Ultras are a lot harder to get. So obviously the more CC you can get before then is going to be better for you in the end. So that's sort of how I look at it. But I guess it wouldn't hurt too much if you want to do a few multis, but I just don't see the point in summoning, if that makes sense. I think that's pretty much it with all the banners that we've talked about. So we'll talk about that one. Like I said, I mean, to be honest, most of these banners, it all depends. If you want the Part 3 Ultra, do not summon at all. It's just not worth it. Especially, like I said, with these Ultra banners, obviously this one, the Cell and Tellus one ends by tonight. Well, today's daily reset. But these, if you want to summon for these Gogetas, I would say wait for Part 3, or wait for the announcement, because like I said, it should be next Wednesday, the banner drops. So wait till then, or at least wait till the reveal. If you want to get the new Part 3 Ultra, go right ahead, obviously. But if you don't like it and you want to summon for one of these banners, I think that's perfectly acceptable as well, obviously. I mean, obviously you can summon whatever banner you want. I'm just looking out for, CC-wise, your free to play, stuff like that. Because obviously it sucks if you summon these banners and you get absolutely nothing in return. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you have any more questions and stuff like that, or you're stuck in a certain stage of the game, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, if you guys like this video and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you as I win the next one.